Good morning to all. We discuss our last class Government of India. Government of India. Legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature included President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then executive includes President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers and bureaucracy. Then third one, judiciary. Judiciary included Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, Municipal Court and Magistrate Court. Okay, clear. Then functions of Parliament. Then bill, ordinary bill and money bill. Other functions of Parliament. The last, executive. These are the main points of the previous class. Executive means the organ of the government which implements law and administrates the country is called executive. Executive in India. In India there are two level executive. They are central executive and state executive. Clear? Executive, what means executives? Executive, the organ of the government which implements law and administrators. Law and administrators, the country is called executive. Okay. Then executive in India, two types of executive in India, central executive and state executive. Okay. Central executive consists of the president, central ministers and bureaucracy. Included president, bureaucracy, central ministers. These are the central executive. Two types of executive, central executive and state executive. Central executive included or consists of prime minister, central ministers and bureaucracy. Okay. The president and ministers are elected. Listen, the president and ministers are elected. They are the political executive. Listen, political executive. Political executive. Political executive, president and the central ministers are elected. President and central ministers are elected. They are called political executive. They are called political executive. Then bureaucrats are appointed. Bureaucrats are appointed on the basis of certain qualification. And they continue in office till the retirement. They are known as permanent executive. Two types of executive, central executive and state executive. Central executive consists or included president, central ministers and bureaucracy. President and central ministers elected members of executive. This called political executive. Then bureaucrats are appointed on the basis of qualification. And the bureaucrats continue till the retirement is called permanent executive. Okay, clear? Then look at the picture. Who is this? Look at the picture. Who is this? This picture of India's first president. This is the picture of India's first president. Okay. Then who was the first president in India? Who was the first president in India? Oh, okay. Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the first president in India. But who is the nowadays president in India? Who is the nowadays president in India? Who is the current president in India? Ramnath Kovind. Okay, clear. Ramnath Kovind. Then president is elected by an electoral college. President is elected by an electoral college. One type of college. Electoral college. Not a study college. Electoral college. Electoral college consists of members of electoral college consists of elected members of Lok Sabha, elected members of Rajya Sabha, elected members of state legislative assemblies. Elected members of state legislative assemblies. Okay. President elected by an electoral college. Electoral college consists of elected members of Lok Sabha, elected members of Rajya Sabha, elected members of state legislative assemblies. Okay. Then duration of Indian president, duration of 5 years. Duration of 5 years. What are the qualification of president? What are the qualification of president? Must be a citizen of India. Indian president must be a citizen of India. Then another qualification, should have a complete 35 years of age. Complete the 35 years of age. Then should have all other qualification required for a member of Lok Sabha. These are the main qualifications of president. Nowadays, Indian president Ramnath Kovind, first Indian president Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Duration of Indian president 5 years. Elected for electoral college. President is elected by an electoral college. Electoral college members, elected members of Lok Sabha, elected members of Rajya Sabha, then elected members of state legislative assemblies. Then all the executive powers of central government. All the executive powers of dash government. State government or central government. Okay, central government are rested with the President of India. But he performed all these functions with the support and advice given by a council of ministers. President perform all these functions with the support and advice given by the council of ministers. Then functions of president. Functions of president. Functions of president. What are the main functions of president? First one, appoint prime ministers and other ministers. Appoint prime ministers and other ministers by president, Indian president. Then another function, appoint chief justice and judge of the Supreme Court. Chief justice and judge of the Supreme Court appointed by president. Then third point, nominate 12 members of Rajya Sabha. Nominate 12 members of Rajya Sabha and 2 members of Lok Sabha. 2 members of Lok Sabha. Total 14 members. Nominate the 14 members in Indian government. Nominate the 12 members of Rajya Sabha and Indian Parliament. Okay. Nominate the 12 members of Rajya Sabha and 2 members of Lok Sabha. Total 14 members in Indian Parliament. Then another point, act as the supreme commander. Supreme commander of the armed force. Supreme commander of the armed force, Indian president. Then another point, give assent to bills passed by the parliament. Give assent to bill passed by the parliament. Okay. Then next point, declare emergency is the country. Emergency is the country if needed. Declare emergency of the country if needed. Then next point, take a decision on mercy petition. Decision on mercy petitions. These are the main functions of the Indian president. Main functions of the Indian president. Which are the main functions of the Indian president? Okay. Number 1. First one, appoint prime ministers and other ministers. Appoint chief justice and other judge. Nominate 12 members of Lok Sabha and 2 members of Rajya Sabha. Act as an supreme commander of an armed force. Then give assent to bill passed by the parliament. Declare emergency is the country if needed. Another, take a decision on mercy petition. These are the main functions. Take your notebook. Write down one question. Question number 1. Functions of Indian president. What are the functions of Indian president? Okay. Then next, vice president. Vice president. Next, Vice President in India. Okay. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. Who is this? Who is this? This is the first Vice President in India. This is the first Vice President in India. Okay. Who is the first Vice President in India? Sorry, who was the first Vice President in India? Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Okay, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Who is the current Vice President in India? Who is the current Vice President in India? Okay, Venkaiah Naidu. Who is the current Vice President in India? Venkaiah Naidu. Who is the current President in India? Ramnath Kovind. Okay, clear. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu, President Ramnath Kovind, First President Dr. Rajendra Prasad, then First Vice President Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. Okay, Vice President is elected by an electoral college. Vice President is elected by an electoral college. The electoral college consists of elected members of Lok Sabha, elected members of Rajya Sabha. So are the members of electoral college in Vice President elected by an electoral college. Vice President, duration of Vice President, duration of 5 years. 5 years of Vice President duration. 5 years of duration in President and Vice President. Then another, functions of Vice President. Functions of Vice President. First one, presides over the session of Rajya Sabha. Presides over the session of Rajya Sabha. Then another point, performs the functions of the President in his absence. Performs the functions of the President in his absence or President absence. Okay. These are the main functions of the Vice President, Indian Vice President. Then next, Union Council of Ministers. Union Council of Ministers. The Union Council of Ministers work under the leadership of Prime Minister. Listen. The Union Council of Ministers work under the leadership of Prime Minister. All the functions vested with the President are really exercised by the Council of Ministers, which consist of cabinet ministers and ministers of state and deputy ministers. Okay. Look at the textbook, page number 66 or 67. Okay, Council of Ministers picture. First Prime Minister, then another cabinet ministers, Prime Ministers and cabinet ministers, then next ministers of state, then deputy ministers. This is the structure of Union Council of Ministers structure. Okay. Central cabinet ministers. Then another part, functions of Prime Minister. First one, functions of President, functions of Vice President, then another, functions of Prime Minister. Okay. Look at the picture. Look at the picture. Who is this? Who is this? This picture of Indian first prime minister? First prime minister. Who was the first prime minister in India? Who was the first prime minister in India? Okay. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first prime minister in India. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first prime minister in India. Who is the current prime minister in India? Nowadays prime minister? Narendra Modi. Okay, clear. Narendra Modi. The leader of majority party or coalition party in Lok Sabha is appointed as the prime minister. Prime minister is the leader of the majority party. The leader of majority party in the Lok Sabha. Majority party in the Lok Sabha is appointed as the prime minister. Okay, clear? Majority party leader. Majority party leader. He has extensive power and functions. He can influence all the important decisions of the central government. Listen, prime minister can influence all the important decisions of the central government. Some important functions of the prime minister. Some important functions. First one, acts as the leader of Lok Sabha. Okay, leader of Lok Sabha. Then another point, preside over the meeting of the cabinet. Preside over the meetings of the cabinet. Then another, coordinates the functions of the council of ministers. Then another point, inform the president of the decisions taken by the cabinet. Inform the president of the decision taken by the government. These are the main or important functions of prime minister. First one, the leader of Lok Sabha, presides over the meetings of the cabinet. Presides over the meetings of the cabinet. Coordinates the functions of the council of ministers. Inform the president of the decision taken by the cabinet. These are the main functions. Then another part, state executive. First one, Indian executive, then state executive. The head of the state level executive is the governor. State level executive is the governor. The chief minister and his cabinet. Chief minister and his cabinet as the real executive in the state. Governor, chief minister and his cabinet. These are the state cabinet form. Then governor, chief minister and cabinet. These are the state executive. Indian executive included president, vice president, prime minister and bureaucracy. His ministers and bureaucracy. Cabinet ministers and president is the elected members. The political executive, then permanent executive, permanent executive, bureaucracy. Two types of executive. Main functions of president and main functions of vice president, main functions of prime minister. Okay. Then last part of our government, judiciary. Judiciary. There may arise dispute between individuals and government, between central and state government and among states on various issues. It is the judiciary will resolve this dispute by punishing the guilty and protecting the innocent. The court implement justice. It is the judiciary which interprets in the laws passed by the legislature. Okay. They may arise dispute between individuals and individuals and government, between central and state government, individuals and government and state and central government, state government and central government, and among states on various issues. It is the judiciary will resolve this dispute by the punishing the guilty and protecting the innocent. The court implement justice. Is the judiciary will interprets as law passed by the legislature. Okay. Structure of judiciary in India. Structure of judiciary in India. Okay, structure. First one, Supreme Court, the apex court in India. Okay, highest court in India, Supreme Court. Then another Supreme Court below. Then another court, High Court. High Court. Then next, District Court and Sub Court. Sub Court or Municipal Court and Magistrate Court. Look at the board, the structure of the judiciary. First one, judiciary. Supreme Court. Supreme Court. Then High Court. District Courts. High Courts, Supreme Courts, District Courts and Sub Courts. Sub courts divided by 2. Munsif and Munsif and Magistrate. Munsif and Magistrate Court. These are the Indian judiciary. First, Supreme Court. Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, Sub Court. Sub Court divided by 2. Municipal Court and Magistrate Court. The apex court in India. What is the apex court in India? Okay, Supreme Court. Judiciary in India. Supreme Court. Then first one, Supreme Court. First one, Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the apex court or highest court. Apex court or highest court in India. It consists of Chief Justice and judge appointed by the President. Listen, Supreme Court is the apex court in India. It consists of a Chief Justice, and judges, Chief Justice and judges appointed by President. At present, Supreme Court Chief Justice, nowadays or today's present Supreme Court has a Chief Justice and 30 judges. Nowadays, a Chief Justice and 30 judges, including our Supreme Court. Okay. Case considered by a Supreme Court. Case relating to violation of the fundamental rights. Case that arise between state government and central government. Then dispute between state government. Case that require interpretation of constitutional provisions, appeal case from high courts. These are the main case considered by Supreme Court. Then another court, High Court. Supreme Court situated which place? New Delhi. Okay. Find out nowadays or present day Supreme Court Chief Justice. Nowadays or present day Supreme Court Chief Justice. Who is the Chief Justice in Supreme Court? The next High Court. High Court is the highest court. The next one, High Court. High Courts is the highest court in a state. Supreme Court is the highest court in India. Then High Court is the highest court in state. The High Court consists of a Chief Justice and such other judges appointed by the President. Okay. High Court consists of a Chief Justice and such a other judge appointed by the President. It supervises the working of district court and other subordinate courts. What are the jurisdiction of High Court? First one, give a verdict on case of relating to violation of fundamental rights. Here is civil and criminals appeals assessed from the lower court. Then interpret the law passed by the state legislature. These are the main functions of the High Court. Okay. Then another court, subordinate court. Subordinate court consists of district court. Subordinate court consists of district court, sub-court, municipal courts and magistrate courts. Then sub-court, municipal and magistrate courts. They give a civil and criminal case. They give the civil and criminal case. Okay. Then the last one, judiciary. Indian Parliament. Last one, judiciary. First, judiciary, Supreme Court, High Court, District Court, Sub Court, Municipal Court and Magistrate Court. These are the main themes and main topics in the lesson. You have learned about the three organs of the government: legislature, executive and judiciary. Okay, government becomes effectively on when these three organs work together, mutual respect and the coordination with the constitution's provisions. Okay. Then take your notebook. write down some important questions. Write down some important question. Question number 1. Question number 1. What are the main functions of Indian President? Another question. What are the main functions of Prime Minister? Prime Minister. The next, the Governor, Chief Minister and Council of Ministers as part of the state level executive. Explain. Then next question. Supreme Court is the apex court in India. Supreme Court is the apex court in India. Explain. Explain. The last question. Structure of Indian judiciary. Structure of Indian judiciary. Draw a structure of Indian judiciary. Okay. Then last, you can read the latest assess and complete the note work. Okay. Now I am going to wind up the class. We see the next class. Thank you.